The rain came down in sheets, turning the cracked sidewalk of Eldridge Street into a black mirror. I was 27, soaked to the bone and running late for a Halloween party I didn't even want to attend. My name is Mara Quinn, barista by day, failed novelist by night, perpetually broke. I cut through the alley behind the old textile mill because the map on my dying phone swore it shaved 3 minutes off the walk. That's when I saw it. A storefront wedged between two condemned buildings that definitely hadn't been there yesterday. No sign, no hours, just a single red bulb glowing above a glass door smeared with handprints. Inside, shelves stretched into impossible darkness. A neon sign flickered to life in the window. The horror shop. Open all hours. Cash only. No refunds. The door chimed when I pushed it open, not a bell. A scream, then silence. The air was thick with the smell of wet pennies and burnt sugar. Shelves towered to a ceiling I couldn't see. Products glowed faintly as if lit from within. No clerk, no customers, just the low hum of something alive behind the walls. I should have left. But the rain was louder outside and the party was still 10 blocks away. I'd just look, 5 minutes, then go. Jars of teeth labeled with names. A nightlight shaped like a clown, its painted smile cracked to reveal real gums. A music box that played a lullaby backward. When I lifted the lid, a child's voice whispered my mother's maiden name. I set it down fast, moved on. A briefcase that rattled when you walked past. Inside, a single resignation letter addressed to you, dated tomorrow. A phone that rang with your own ringtone. The screen showed a text from your future self. Don't open the briefcase. I laughed. The laugh echoed wrong, like someone else laughing with my mouth. A snow globe. Inside, a tiny cemetery. When I shook it, the graves opened. Miniature versions of people I knew climbed out. My ex, Liam, my college roommate Sage, my dentist, Dr. Patel. They waved. Their mouths moved in unison. See you soon, I put it back. My hands shook. That's when the clerk appeared. He hadn't walked up. He was just there. Tall, thin, skin the color of old paper, eyes like holes punched in reality. His name tag read, "Ask about our loyalty program." "First time?" he asked. Voice like dry leaves scraped across glass. I nodded. He smiled. No teeth, just darkness. "Everything here is tailored, priced exactly what you can afford, but payment isn't always money." He gestured to a door at the back. "Employees only." Painted black, a slit at eye level. Something blinked behind it. I backed toward the exit. The door was gone, just a wall of mirrors. Each reflection showed me older, sicker, dead. One version had her throat cut, smiling. Another held a baby that wasn't moving. I looked away. The clerk was closer now. "Everyone buys something," he said, eventually. I wandered deeper. Labels changed when I blinked. A typewriter that typed your unwritten novel, every key press erased a memory of wanting to write. A paintbrush that bled color from your eyes. A microphone that recorded your voice. 10 years from now, screaming. A bouquet of black roses. Thorns shaped like engagement rings. A Valentine's card that opened to reveal a heart, still beating. The note inside, "You always knew I'd leave. This just makes it official." A bottle of pills labeled, "One dose cures everything. Side effects, everything." A mirror that showed your autopsy. The coroner's voice narrated, "Cause of death, curiosity." I found a shelf of custom orders. People holding items from the shop, their eyes scratched out. A woman who looked like me. She held a snow globe. The cemetery inside had my name on a tombstone. Date of death, tomorrow. The clerk's voice behind me. "That one's reserved, but we're flexible." I tried to leave again. The mirrors were gone. Now a staircase spiraled down. Each step was a product. I stepped on a "Forgive me" card. It crumbled to ash. Second chance, coupon. Expired yesterday. Get out of jail, free card. From a child's board game stained with real blood, a counter, old-fashioned cash register. The clerk waited. Find anything? He asked. I hadn't meant to carry it, but my hands held a small black box. Velvet, no label. It pulsed like a heartbeat. What is it? I asked. He smiled. Your greatest fear, gift wrapped. I tried to put it down. Couldn't. My fingers wouldn't open. The clerk leaned in. Price, one memory, your choice. I thought of Liam, the night he left, the way he said, you love your stories more than me. I let the memory go. It hurt, like pulling a tooth with no anesthetic. The box opened. Me, standing in this shop, holding the box. The photo was taken now. From behind me, I spun. No one there. The clerk took the memory, swallowed it like smoke. Pleasure doing business. The staircase was gone. I was back at the front. The door was there again. Rain still falling. I ran. The alley was empty. No shop, just brick wall. I checked my phone. Time hadn't moved. I walked home. The black box was gone, but I felt lighter. Empty. I didn't sleep. Couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the shop, the clerk, the Polaroid. Next day, I woke to scratching at the door. Not knocking. Scratching. Like nails on wood. I opened it. Nothing. But on the floor, a single black rose. Thorns shaped like tiny engagement rings. A tag. Return policy, 7 days, no exceptions. I threw it away. It was back by morning, wilting, bleeding. The shop found me again. Not in the alley, in my apartment. The closet door was now black, the slit at eye level. Something blinked. I opened it. The shop stretched beyond, impossible, endless. The clerk waved. Missed you. I slammed it shut, nailed it, painted over it. The door was back the next day. Next day I went back. Not by choice. The rose had grown. Vines under the floorboards, thorns through the walls. They spelled S-H-O-P. I opened the closet, stepped through. The clerk greeted me like an old friend. Back so soon? Excellent. Loyalty points. He led me to a new aisle. Returned items. The snow globe, the typewriter, the Valentine's heart, still beating, and the black box, open, empty, except me, standing in my apartment. Date. Tomorrow. The clerk said, you can buy it back. Price, one future. I laughed, bitter. I don't have a future. He tilted his head. Everyone has something. I bought time, gave him my 30th birthday, my first book deal, the memory of my mother's laugh. Each one hurt worse than the last. He wrapped them in butcher paper, labeled fragile. The date moved to the next week. I had a week. Now the shop changed. Now, employees only. Behind the counter, a door. I wasn't allowed, but the clerk was gone. I went anyway. A warehouse, rows of people, strapped to chairs, eyes sewn open, mouths stuffed with receipts. They were buyers, each with a product embedded in their chest, a woman with a snow globe heart, a man with a typewriter for a head. They moaned when I passed. One whispered, "Don't let it finish the sale." At the end, a mirror. My reflection was the clerk. He smiled. "You're almost ready." So, midnight. I tried to burn the shop, brought gasoline, matches. The flames wouldn't catch. The products drank the fire, grew brighter. The clerk appeared, untouched. He offered a deal. Work for us, 1 year, then leave, with everything restored. I asked what the job was. He pointed to a new hire orientation video playing on a loop. A man, Dow greeting customers, smiling with no teeth, handing out black boxes. I refused. He shrugged. Offer expires at midnight. Next day. I accepted, not for me, for the people in the warehouse, for the woman with the snow globe heart, for the child with the music box lungs. The clerk clapped. No sound. Orientation starts now. Learn the rules. Every customer buys their fear. Payment is always a piece of soul. The shop moves, cities, decades, dimensions. You can leave after 365 sales. No one ever does. My first customer, a teenage boy, afraid of drowning. I sold him a goldfish bowl. He paid with his first kiss. I felt it leave him, felt it enter me. Cold. Wrong. I tried to sabotage, gave a woman her fear for free. The shop punished me, took my voice. Now I communicate in receipts. Customers read their fate in the fine print. I found the ledger. Names, dates, fears, payments. Mine was there. Mara Quinn. Fear, being forgotten. Payment, entire future. The sale was complete. I just hadn't noticed. Now, the shop is quiet, waiting. I stand behind the counter. Name tag. Ask about our loyalty program. Eyes like holes, smile like darkness. The door chimes. A woman enters, soaked, curious. She looks familiar. She asks, "First time?" I nod. She smiles. Everything here is tailored. I hand her a black box. It pulses. She opens it. Standing in this shop. Date, tomorrow. She laughs, nervous. I write on a receipt. Payment, one memory, your choice. She thinks of someone, lets it go. The box closes. The sale is complete. The door vanishes. The shop moves. Another city, another night, another customer. I am the clerk now. The shop is eternal. And the horror, it's not what we sell, it's that you'll always buy. Next year, a new storefront appears. Between two buildings that weren't there yesterday. Red bulb, smeared handprints, neon sign flickers. The horror shop. Open all hours, cash only, no refunds. A woman walks past, 27, soaked, late for a party. Her name is Mara Quinn. She's never heard of the shop. But the door chimes when she pushes it open. A scream, short, sharp, human. Check your pockets. Did you buy something you don't remember?
Some places are forgotten, abandoned, left to rot. But some of these forgotten places hold stories that refuse to stay buried. Tonight, I'm taking you to one of the eeriest mysteries ever recorded. A story of a plane that vanished without a trace, leaving nothing but whispers and shadows behind. This is the story of the abandoned aircraft. It all began on a small, isolated island in the middle of nowhere. The island had an old, barely used airport, a relic from decades past. Its runways were cracked, covered in weeds, and the terminal building stood silent, with broken windows reflecting the moonlight like empty eyes. No commercial flights came here anymore. Occasionally, a private plane might touch down, but for the most part, it was a ghost airport. One night, a mysterious aircraft appeared on the horizon. It wasn't scheduled, it wasn't reported, and no one on the island seemed to know it was coming. The plane descended slowly, touching the abandoned runway with an almost unnatural smoothness, like it had been guided by an invisible hand. Inside the plane were roughly 50 passengers. Some were business travelers, some tourists, and a few nobody seemed to recognize. The cabin lights flickered as if the electricity itself was nervous. The flight attendants smiled politely, but their smiles didn't reach their eyes. They were hollow, almost mechanical. As the plane taxied down the runway, the engine thrummed softly. But there was something off. It wasn't just the sound, it was the silence between the sounds. Each pause felt heavier, like the plane was listening, waiting for something. The passengers whispered nervously among themselves, unsure why their stomachs knotted with fear. Minutes after takeoff, the nightmare began. First, the lights flickered violently, plunging the cabin into darkness for brief, horrifying moments. The passengers clutched their armrests as shadows danced across the walls, shapes that weren't human. Then came the tremors. The plane shook like a living creature, pitching and twisting against the night sky. The pilot struggled to regain control, his voice tense over the intercom, but the words were barely audible. And then, the radio went dead. Every channel was silent, No air traffic control, no weather reports, just a strange, wavering sound that slithered through the cabin like smoke. It wasn't language, it was something older, something that shouldn't exist. And then the whispers began. At first soft, almost polite, but soon they grew louder, more insistent. They came from the walls, from the ceiling, from nowhere at all. Passengers covered their ears, but the voices burrowed deep, speaking words they couldn't understand, yet somehow felt chillingly familiar. One man swore he saw shadowy figures drifting down the aisle, their faces blurred, their mouths open in silent screams. Another passenger felt icy fingers brush his shoulder, though no one was near him. The crew tried to calm everyone, but even they were terrified. Something had taken hold of the aircraft, and the flight was no longer controlled by human hands. As the hours passed, the plane vanished from radar. Air traffic controllers searched frantically for any trace. There was nothing. No distress signal, no debris. Just gone. Passengers and crew alike reported seeing ghostly landscapes below, familiar cities, forests, oceans, but all distorted, as if reality itself had warped around them. Some claimed they glimpsed doors opening into endless darkness, with voices beckoning them to step through. Others described the sensation of falling through empty air, yet never hitting the ground. Panic set in, but the plane didn't respond. It wasn't flying. It was drifting, guided by some unseen force, some entity that existed between worlds. Back on the island, locals have passed down stories for generations. They say that on certain nights, when the wind blows just right, you can hear the engines of a plane in the distance, though the runway is empty. Some claim to hear footsteps echoing across the abandoned terminal, and sometimes a faint chorus of voices crying for help drifts from the cracked windows. A few daring souls have even ventured to the old runway. They describe shadowy forms moving under the moonlight, passengers from the vanished plane, trapped between life and death, trying to find their way home. The stories are enough to make anyone shiver, but some swear it's real. And the truth might be far worse than any legend. Was the plane caught in some supernatural storm? Did it enter another dimension? Or was it the work of something far more sinister, an entity that feeds on fear and despair, dragging souls into its void? No one knows for sure. What is certain is that the aircraft never returned, and no trace of its passengers was ever found. Experts, skeptics, and thrill seekers have all tried to explain it, but every theory falls short. Radar records vanish, flight logs disappear. It's as if the plane and everyone on board were erased from existence. All that remains are the whispers and the lingering fear of the unknown. So the next time you hear the faint roar of an engine late at night, or a whisper that seems to come from nowhere, remember, some flights are never meant to land, some places are not meant to be visited, and some mysteries refuse to stay buried. This was the story of the abandoned aircraft, a plane that vanished, and a mystery that might never be solved. If you enjoyed this story and want more chilling tales, don't forget to subscribe to Echoes of Mystery and hit the bell icon. Leave a comment below. Would you dare step aboard the abandoned aircraft? And check out our playlist for more stories that will haunt your nights. Night in Hollowstone always felt heavier than it should. Maybe it was the trees leaning too close, or the air that tasted like old dust and forgotten secrets. But the woods were nothing compared to Blackthorn Graveyard, an ancient burial ground that had existed long before the town itself. People whispered about it, people avoided it, people pretended it didn't exist. Except for Evan Hale, 17, curious by nature, restless by habit, and stupid by personal tradition. Tonight he chose the worst possible shortcut of his life. The iron gates of Blackthorn Graveyard sat bent inward, like something had pushed its way out. Evan stared at them for a long second before stepping through. His flashlight flickered. Of course it did. The gravel path looked like a spine running between crooked headstones. Marble, angels without faces watched him pass. The breeze didn't feel like a breeze, more like someone exhaling on his neck. He swallowed hard. "Just 10 minutes," he muttered. Cut across, get home, and don't die. Easy. He'd walked this path during the day. It didn't help. At night, everything changed shape. Graves seemed to shift when he wasn't looking. The shadows felt like they were moving with him instead of because of him. And then he saw it. A headstone that didn't match the others. Newer, cleaner, almost untouched by time. Its number was carved sharply across the stone. Number 47. Nothing else. No name, no dates, just the number. His stomach tightened. He'd heard rumors. Classmates dared each other to look for grave 47, but acted like it didn't exist. Some claimed people disappeared after finding it. Others said the grave wasn't always there. He stepped closer. For some reason, the air around it felt colder than the rest of the cemetery. Evan crouched beside the grave, tracing the number with his eyes. That's when he heard it. A sharp, violent sound, like stone fracturing, bones snapping, or earth being ripped open. It came from directly beneath him. His breath hitched. He stepped back. The ground trembled, just a little, but enough that he felt it through the soles of his shoes. The soil shifted. Dirt lifted. And then, a pale, rotting hand burst out of grave number 47. Evan screamed and stumbled backward, falling onto the grass. The hand clawed at the air, its fingers long and wrong, like they'd grown too many joints. Something beneath the ground pulled itself upward, pushing through the soil. No, 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 no. Evan scrambled to his feet. He turned to run and froze. A woman stood between the graves, not standing, floating. Her long hair drifted like it was underwater. Her dress, a pale, ragged gown, fluttered even though the air was still. And her face, half beautiful, half decayed. One eye was missing, replaced by a hollow shadow. She smiled. It wasn't human. Her voice came like wind through dead branches, thin, trembling, ancient.
You were not supposed to see him.
Evan stumbled backward, directly toward the opening grave. The ground collapsed. He didn't even have time to scream. Darkness swallowed him whole. He didn't know how long he was unconscious. When he finally opened his eyes, he wasn't lying on dirt. He was lying on marble, cold, polished, white marble stretching endlessly in every direction. The ceiling arched above him like the inside of a cathedral carved from bone. Soft blue light glowed from cracks in the walls. He sat up fast. This wasn't the graveyard. This wasn't the world. It felt like a dream, or a mistake, or hell. He heard something behind him, a whisper, not a voice, multiple voices, layered, overlapping, whispering in a language he didn't know. Evan spun around. He almost fainted. Rows and rows of graves lined the underground hall, except these graves were standing upright like doors. Each one had a number carved into it. 12, 19, 22, 33, 47, 56, 60. Dozens, hundreds, maybe more. Behind every number, something moved, something trapped, something waiting, something hungry. Evan approached grave 47, the same number that had dragged him down here, except this version wasn't a mound of dirt. It was a tall black slab with something pounding on the other side. He heard fingernails scraping metal. He saw shadows shifting. A thin whisper slithered through the cracks.
Let me out.
He staggered back. Another whisper answered from the hall behind him.
He's not the one you should fear.
The female ghost stepped out of the darkness. Her feet didn't touch the ground. Her hair drifted weightlessly. The hollow space where her eyes should have been dripped black smoke. Evan tried to run. She didn't move, yet suddenly she was in front of him. Up close, he could see her clearly. Her arms had marks, scratches, like she'd clawed her way out of something herself. She tilted her head.
You entered a place where the dead don't sleep. They wait.
He tried to speak, but air refused to leave his lungs.
Do you know why grave 47 has no name?
He shook his head. Her smile deepened, but her eyes looked sad, almost regretful.
Because its occupant is not dead. Not yet.
walls vibrated. Heavy footsteps echoed through the hall. Evan's blood ran cold. Something massive was approaching. From the far end of the marble hall, a shape emerged, impossibly tall, cloaked in shadows that writhed like snakes. It had no face, only darkness. Its arms were long, ending in skeletal hands. Every grave door rattled as it passed. The ghost woman's voice trembled.
The keeper. He watches those who fall in.
The creature stopped. It turned toward Evan. He felt its attention like cold fingers sliding into his skull. Then, a grave door burst open. Not in Ashika 47, but 33. A figure crawled out. Human shape, but wrong. Twisted, starving. Eyes glowing hollow white. It lunged for Evan. The ghost raised her arm, screaming something in a language he didn't know. Light blasted from her hand, slamming the creature back into its grave. She grabbed Evan's wrist. Her touch was freezing.
We don't have time.
He stared at her. His voice finally returned, shaking. Why are you helping me? She hesitated, then whispered.
Because once I was alive, and someone tried to help me. I failed them.
The keeper's head snapped toward them. The marble floor cracked under its steps. The ghost pulled Evan toward a narrow corridor between the graves.
If he reaches you, you'll become one of them. A numbered shadow.
They ran. The corridor twisted like a maze. The air grew colder, the lights dimmer. Evan's lungs burned. Behind them, heavy footsteps chased relentlessly. Where are we going? Evan gasped. To the root. To the place where this world touches yours. To the only exit. They turned a corner and froze. The path ended in a massive cavern. In the center stood a pit, swirling with black mist and pale lights. It looked like a whirlpool made of souls. Evan whispered, "What is that?" The ghost answered,
Jump and you enter. Miss and you fall deeper.
The keeper's roar shook the walls. The ghost turned to Evan. For the first time, her expression wasn't eerie or distant. It was human.
You must go.
What about you? She closed her single living eye.
My body is long gone. I don't return. I don't belong. And listen.
The footsteps thundered closer. Evan grabbed her hand. You're coming with me.